Good evening, Omaha, and welcome to this live edition of BBTV. Today is Wednesday, May 16th, 2018. I'm Kayla Dahl.
And I'm Ella Ibis. What you're about to see is a news broadcast featuring stories written, filmed, and edited by members of the Advanced Broadcasting Club from Alice Buffett Magnet Middle School. Over the next hour, you will see coverage of a variety of news stories that will give you an inside look at our school.
For our first segment, we'll take you on an inside look at what exactly makes our school special. Our BBTV reporters went down with teachers, administrators, and students at Buffett to find exactly what makes our school so unique.
Alice Buffett Magnet Middle School is a 5th through 8th grade building with a magnet focus of electronic media and digital communication. The building opened in 2004 and is home to over 1,100 students. Is Buffett just another middle school in Omaha, or is there something special and unique about our building and the people who call it home?
Well, when I think about Buffett, one of the things that I think that makes it first unique is that we are a communications magnet. The fact that you are interviewing me right now for BBTV is exactly what makes us unique. There is no other school in the city, in the metro area, that has a student-produced, student-written, student-edited television show.
Something that makes Buffett unique is that Buffett feels like a family.
Yeah, so our students get unique opportunities in the areas of communication arts and technology-based programs to produce things for our schools. So I think
the way that the teachers really kind of come together and try and provide the best quality education for students.
We're the only school with a broadcasting program quite as big as what we have here at Buffett, along with our other magnet-focused classes.
Every educator will tell you the most important part of any school are the students. The staff members of Buffett shared with us what they feel is most unique about the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders at our school.
I would say the majority of students are really driven, respectful, want to do their best each and every day and get the most from their middle school experience.
One of my favorite things about this building is how incredibly diverse it is. It's probably the most diverse building in OPS. People think of diversity and they think of just like color, but this building actually has like lots of different people with lots of different backgrounds. And so one of my other favorite things about the building is how those people are able to come together and be kind of global, like a little melting pot of global citizenship.
The students of Buffett are exciting, and that's very vague because they're exciting in so many different ways. Buffett really is a school of excellence. I think
Extremely hardworking, extremely kind, extremely safe, trustworthy, and they work very hard to be their best.
One key to a successful school is having teachers who are willing to go above and beyond.
I think our teachers are very hardworking. I think that they are constantly trying to push themselves to find new ways to reach students, and whether that be with technology or whether it's just coming up with a new way to teach a certain concept. I think they're always pushing themselves to take risks and find new ways of engaging students and teaching their content.
The teachers are like a family. We all work together, we co-plan, we co-teach, we help each other out whenever we can. There's a lot of good camaraderie and great relationships there. We can rely on each other for help and resources and ideas.
Very driven, progressive in the respect that they will take on new technologies to use with their students, continuous learners, and want the best for our school and for our students.
But the thing about the teachers at Buffett is that they hold themselves to a standard that is so very high that it pushes the students to have that same standard. Our teachers believe in students, they love our students, and I have not seen a more special group of teachers in my career. These are the best teachers you're going to find anywhere.
A common phrase that has been spoken throughout the year has been "We are Buffett." But what does this really mean?
I I think it means that we're unified and we're all together. Even though we come from different backgrounds and different cultural beliefs, different socioeconomic status, we can all come together and work together as a family and a community.
To me, it's a representation of our community and a representation of what the whole Buffett mentality is, that we have a high standard and that we believe in one another and that we set ourselves up for success, and that really we as a collective represent what Buffett is. It's not about just one person, it's about the whole. And so when
we say like we are Buffett, we all come from so many different backgrounds, and you might not even know that just by looking at the people on the surface level. But when you really put relationships first and get to know people, no matter what everybody's going through in their life, whether you are 13 or 31, we are going to stick together through it. That's what We Are Buffett means.
The teachers and staff of Buffett we spoke to clearly have a lot of pride in their school, but do students share these feelings?
There's a lot of friendly people here, and it's really easy to make friends because there's so many nice and outgoing people, and the teachers are really good and they really motivate you to make positive actions.
I love my friends and the teachers. You know, it's good to have all your friends respect you very well here, and teachers.
I like the school environment. The teachers are cool, and it feels like I'm safe here.
Favorite thing about Buffett is probably the athletics. You know, it's a way to just get out there and do what you like to do, and it's another way to just bond with other people, so it's pretty fun.
I came in 5th grade, so I've been here this is my 4th year. I really like the environment, the kids here. The mood is just great. I feel like some students here wouldn't agree with me, but that's because of how lucky we are. We haven't been exposed to like other schools, and I feel like their mood, their tone there isn't as great as here because of the opportunities we have at our school are so much greater than what other kids are offered at other schools. So.
For BBTV News, this has been Bryce Johnson reporting.
One of the things that make Buffett successful is the amazing help that our teachers receive from a variety of individuals. These include paras, office staff, custodians, and more. For this next story, we meet a different kind of classroom helper. BBTV reporter Quinn Sweeney has the story.
Raise your hand if you can understand how she feels being sick to her stomach.
Students of Miss Tunning's classroom experience things every classroom offers. However, on top of the lectures, notes, and homework, they also share a room with one special individual.
Therapy dogs work in schools, first of all, just to provide emotional support and friendship and love, unconditional love to any of the students, kind of make for a less stressful environment. There's that touch that therapy dogs can provide because of their warm coat, because people like to pet dogs. Sometimes that just petting a dog can kind of lower blood pressure and make you feel more relaxed.
Along with the emotional benefits, Miss Tunning also believes Lucy is a great way to keep students focused.
The students pointed it out to me. They said, Miss Tuning, we thought having a dog in class would make things like more crazy, but she's calmed things down. Everybody's more calm when Lucy's in the classroom. And what I found, the students were trying to impress the dog.
But having that great opportunity comes with some great time commitment on Miss Tuning's part.
Each therapy dog organization is different. I've trained Lucy through 2 different therapy dog organizations, but both of the trainings were at least 6 months long of training. Then you have to pass a test, and then you go through 3 months of on-the-site supervision. And the on-the-site supervision is when I would go to a nursing home and there would be a trainer there watching Lucy interact with the people. I've just saw the joy that it brings to other people, and I like that. For the most part, students love dogs, and they want to pet her, and they want Lucy to sit by them. And
the students also shared how having Lucy is a big bonus for their class.
Because we're able to pet her, and she's just like really, really cute.
I think this is relaxing because like when we have like free reading time, she'll just come around and we're able to pet her and just relax.
Unfortunately, the dog can't be all over, so sometimes the kids follow the dog around. So, but yeah, for the most part, the kids really like having a dog around.
For BBTV News, this has been Quinn Sweeney with photographer Ella Ibis reporting. For our next story, we go to the world of art. Students at our school participate in many different art classes throughout the 4 years at Buffett. In these classes, students explore many different projects such as pottery, graffiti art, self-portraits, and watercolors. These serve as nice introductions to many different art mediums. However, one 8th grade project has turned into much more than just a class assignment. BBTV reporter Ella Ibis has explored the latest project in Mrs. Garch's art class.
World War II was a horrific war, fought in the response of Hitler and the Nazis' plans. Students learn about these events from lectures and textbooks, but it's still difficult to have a personal connection to the people who went through this struggle. One art project at Buffett Middle School was designed to change this.
Students get to pick their own person, whoever they want to choose, and how we go about drawing these, it just depends on what quarter you are. Second quarter got to do the charcoal, and they captured highlights and shadows of the person, and then third quarter did collage, and then they did a transparency where they did watercolor the background, and then they drew the person with a Sharpie.
After completing artwork, students then had the opportunity to meet some of the survivors at an event held at the local Jewish Community Center.
Well, this is an event to honor the artists who created portraits of our local survivors and other victims of the Holocaust. Recognition for the artists' hard work, for the teachers' hard work, and it's a great way to bring the community in to see what you have done and to learn a little bit about the Holocaust. Well, we want people to know that there is more to the Holocaust than emaciated bodies and gas chambers and concentration camps. That these are real people who had lives and families and hobbies and interests, and that they were people whose lives were drastically altered and changed by the Holocaust.
Buffett student Anaya Wayne was one of the student artists that had the opportunity to meet the person she drew.
It was so amazing because I got to see how they are as a person, and it was just an amazing experience to just meet them and know how they went through a lot during the Holocaust. I felt before like more sorry for them and how like they went through a lot during that time, but now I feel like very happy that they're happy and that they can live like more of a normal and more joyful life now.
But it is not just about the students' drawings.
The purpose was to recognize and to know more about the Holocaust and that they still live on even though they may have passed away, and we did this project to know more and to just be like in their shoes in a way.
Anaya explains why she decided to draw B, a local Holocaust survivor.
I drew B, and she is very sweet and she's kind, and the picture I did her because she wasn't as recognized when other people drew her, so I just wanted her to be recognized in this art show.
Anaya then was able to meet B. Karp, who is the subject of her artwork. Ms. Karp explains what it is like to meet the individual who drew her.
Well, it's very interesting, and it was very nice.
Signing off, this has been BBTV reporter Ella Ibis.
When asked to dream about the future, many people's automatic response will likely have something to do with flying cars. For this next story, I met with one individual with quite a story to tell, involving a car, a boat, and an airplane all mixed together in one special vehicle.
Ever since cars were invented, people have dreamed of taking their driving to the sky. Back in 1957, one group of local inventors made this dream a reality.
I always thought it was a good idea myself, but it was kind of before its time. Nobody seem to want anything like this. But nowadays, there's all kinds of companies trying to make it, but none of them have got it ever perfected that they can have all three. Some of them carry their wings on the side of the car, so you got to attach the wings when you want to go fly and take them back off when you want to drive down the road. And that's too much work. And this was an easy concept that it'd go down, drive and fly and go in the water and fish.
Even though the Martin air car was unique, creating something like this was not easy and took a lot of trial and error.
Well, they tried a lot of material, and at that time they decided that plywood was the cheapest and the lightest. So they made it out of plywood and the frame out of chromoly tubing. And they took the plywood and they soaked it in water so they could bend it into the shape that they wanted it to be bent. And the air car was actually built like a part of a wing on an airplane.
Once the group found out the air car was going to work, the government stepped in and expressed their interest.
They patented it all over the country, and the government seen this patent, and they were at the time going to go to the moon. So they thought this might work pretty good for a car on the moon to drive around on. So they called my dad in, and they offered him $1 million for it to manufacture one like it for the moon. And they wanted to change the name on it, and Dad didn't want to change it from Martin to anything else. Well, the government took some of the patents and used them on the Land Rover they took to the moon, and my father wasn't too happy with that.
For BBTV News, this is Anna Hayden reporting.
One annual celebration that takes place is Music in Our Schools Month. Hosted by the National Association of Music Education, this event takes place every year during the month of March. At Alice Buffett Magnet Middle School, we have enjoyed a rich history of music education. We sat down with Buffett Band Director Mr. John Meyer to discuss exactly what this month means to him.
For the past 3 years, our band has been led by Mr. Meyer. We sat down with the band director to discuss music in our month and to learn about his musical journey.
My music journey, as I kind of mentioned before, started out like many kids here do in 7th and 8th grade. I just started out playing the drums, and then after a while you start to think, well, what would it be like to play trumpet or saxophone or clarinet or tuba even, you know? So I started picking those instruments up and just challenging myself to learn different instruments and kind of keep it fresh and fun and learning new stuff. And then after you do that for a while, you get to college, you can play several instruments, you kind of tend to end up, you know, being an all-around musician and realize that there's a market for education and for performance. So kind of ended up going down the journey of band.
After teaching band for so long, it's only natural to have a few favorite memories.
Then it goes back to tempo 1. My favorite memories probably tend to, just off the top of my head, be the big performances, like such as All City and some of the honor bands that we've attended. We performed at the Holland Arts Center here the last few years for All City, just pretty awesome place to perform considering the national and international acts that have played there and some of the great musicians. It's a really neat hall, but also just our performances at Buffett. The scale and scope of what we put on here for our concerts. Team.
When we sat down, Mr. Meyer gave us his definition of what music is to him.
Music is, as you may know, like, think of yourself when you want to relax or you want to get away or just collect your thoughts, or maybe you're having a bad day or something. Music is soothing and comforting and fun. And then I think what musicians do is they take it to that next level and imagine and want to start reproducing that music or create that music, or sometimes just create something that they haven't heard before.
For BBTV News, this has been Ariana reporting.
On February 14th, one of the deadliest school shootings occurred in Parkland, Florida. In this tragedy, 17 people lost their lives and 17 more were injured. In response to this horrible event, students across the nation decided to stage mass walkouts as a form of protest. The students at Buffett had another idea. During the week of May 7th, students in all grades tied ribbons to our school fence. It was an event organized entirely by a small group of 8th graders who wanted to do something to honor these victims. Teachers and administration to discuss what they can do to honor victims. Together, they decided to buy a ribbon for each student to tie to the fence to show support of Parkland. 2 students who helped organize this even tell us what inspired them and what they are hoping to accomplish.
Affected by these shootings and how we needed to take a stand and show that we care about what had happened, and we couldn't do the walkout, so we wanted to come up with something that would be just as effective and just as memorable as a walkout.
I think what inspired me was I wanted my voice to be heard. When the Parkland shooting happened, there was a lot of kids who wanted to walk out, but for safety reasons we weren't allowed to. But I still wanted to do something, and I still wanted to be involved, and I still wanted to make a difference. So I think it just really pushed me to make a difference and have my voice be heard. I think the next step is just making sure everyone's voice is heard and making sure these kids aren't unforgotten, but then making the next step to make sure this doesn't happen again. So rather it's government officials making tougher gun laws or whatever it is, just making sure events like this don't happen.
One of the biggest indicators of success for students is a strong support system that includes people who honestly care about you. This may include family members and friends, but for some, it means having a mentor. One of the biggest mentoring programs in our state is the Teammates program. This is a service that many of our students at our school take advantage of. BBTV reporter sat down with the founder of this special organization.
It can be rough. On top of the schoolwork, students must deal with peer pressure, trying to fit in, and impressing friends. Luckily, students have a lot of resources to help with these struggles. One example is a Teammates mentoring program. To find out more about this unique program, we sat down with the founder, Dr. Tom Osborne.
Well, Teammates is a mentoring program, school-based, one-to-one, and we started 26 years ago with 22 7th and 8th grade boys in Lincoln being mentored by some football players.
Dr. Osborne explains exactly what drew him to start this mentoring program.
Saw a lot of kids who felt they needed a mentor, needed somebody in their life that cared about them unconditionally, and so one time I came home from football practice. My wife Nancy suggested that maybe we do something.
Many adults may be hesitant to start mentoring. They may feel that they are not qualified, or maybe they don't have the skills to mentor. As this turns out, it's not the case.
The main thing that a mentor has to do is just be someone who can care about another person, carry on a conversation, and be consistent, because we find that a mentor who shows up at least 24, 25 times in a school year usually is very, very effective.
Here at Alice Buffett Magnet Middle School, we have the Teammates program in place for many different students. One mentor is the UNO Athletic Director, Trev Alberts. Mr. Alberts explains why he takes time out of his day to mentor a student.
Something that I really enjoy, and generally once a week over the lunch hour I get out to Buffett, and I enjoy the lunches. I always eat the lunch that the students eat, and I've had the same mentee now almost 5 years. His name is Dylan, and he's become a good friend of mine, and in fact I went and watched him play in his last football game over at Lewis and Clark Middle School over there. So yeah, the Teammates program's been a lot of fun for me.
We sat down with the mentee Dylan to see how he felt about this program.
Well, back then I was getting in trouble in the 5th and 6th grade,
And then 7th and 8th grade, like he kept on motivating, just kept on motivating me. And I just took my shot, and they'll help you, and just talk to them, and they'll help you out, be there for you.
Signing off for BBTV, this has been reporter Arnav.
At Buffett, students have the option to participate in a variety of different athletics and activities in the 7th and 8th grade. These include the typical sports you may think of, such as soccer, basketball, football, and track. On top of these activities, many students also choose to participate in sports outside of school. For our next report, we take a look at a unique activity that many people may not associate with middle schooler students. BBT reporter Kayla has a story.
When people think of a team sport, basketball and football usually come in mind. Rarely is bowling on the list. However, at Buffett, several students have found that this sport offers exactly what they're looking for. We sat down with a few members of the Oaks Bowling League to find out how they got involved in this unique sport.
I was interested in bowling ever since I was a kid. I've always enjoyed bowling, liked knocking down pins with a ball. I always thought it was fun.
My parents bowled since they were little kids, and I was around 4 years old.
My neighbor, he was a bowler. He's on the PBA tour, and he got his kid into it real young age, so I started bowling with them.
Exercise is important to people of all ages. You may not think that bowling offers this health benefit, but you would be wrong.
It's great to exercise. Bowling 3 games is just like walking 1 mile. So if you come bowl 3 games a day, you're getting your exercise there. You are also using a ball at various weights, and it's great exercise overall.
On top of the physical benefits, bowling can mean big money for these middle schoolers.
Gotten over $1,000 worth of scholarships from different tournaments and stuff, which is really nice, which will help me through college and stuff.
Well, throughout bowling tournaments, you raise money for college, so you continuously get money for college so that you can have scholarships to get into college, so it's cheaper.
Friendships. I've gained a lot of scholarship money for college. It's just a really fun sport.
But it's more than just about the money. The bowlers explained that participating in this event offers many more benefits.
I've gained a really good team, so I've bowled my team for 4 years, I think 3 or 4 years, and I think they're just great to have around.
Make a lot of new friendships. You get to travel places.
Getting you to know what bowling is, and then competing, which is a lot of fun, which I enjoy.
If anyone is interested in getting started with bowling, Coach Nick explains just how easy it is.
The path that I did, usually getting involved with friends that are bowlers, or you'll come into a birthday party or something with school, is usually about the best steps to get people interested in it. It is a lifetime sport because it is just something anybody from 2 years old to 100 years old can do. It just involves taking 5 short steps and swinging a ball.
For BBTV News, this has been Kayla Dahl reporting.
One thing that our school prides itself on are the many activities and athletics that are offered to students. This year, girls lacrosse was added to this long list. Although it is not an OPS-sanctioned sport, it is an option for all of our Lady Bobcats to participate in. The girls play in a league with teams from Elkhorn and Lincoln, and as we have found out, are having a very fun first season.
The latest sport to pop up at Alice Buffett Magnet Middle School is girls lacrosse. Even though our school has had lacrosse for the boys for the past year, people are still unfamiliar with this sport.
What I've been comparing it to in my mind, it has a lot of similarities to soccer, but obviously you're using a stick instead of your feet to move the ball down the field, but it's comparable to soccer, I would say.
With a brand new sport, it is unlikely to find a ton of success right away. However, Coach Lima explains it's more about enjoying this sport than winning.
They're having a lot of fun. they enjoy practice. They're getting to know each other. They're really working together as a team. And I try to ask them every time we meet, whether it's for practice or a game, if they had fun, no matter the outcome. So that's kind of our goal, is just to have fun and grow together.
But for the coaches and athletes, being a part of something never done before at their school is a big bonus.
And I know not a lot of schools have it, so I thought it'd be a great opportunity to try it out and see if I liked it.
It's just important for girls to have the same opportunities as boys, and I think it's really neat that we're the first OPS middle school, or the first middle school in Omaha to have a team, and so that was kind of exciting just to be on the forefront of that and really get things going for the sport of lacrosse here in Omaha.
Usually they're like, wow, your school actually has that lacrosse team. They're very surprised because not a lot of schools hold lacrosse for girls.
For BBTV News, this has been Alessandra Martinez with photographer Dalton Mercer reporting.
Being a news organization, we are obligated to report on the news that matters to our viewers. Perhaps the biggest story this year was the firing of Nebraska head coach Mike Riley and the hiring of Nebraska's favorite son, Scott Frost. When this story broke out, our reporters headed to the hallways of Buffett to get the opinions of our students and staff.
I think it's a good coach. He's a good fit for Nebraska, born in Nebraska. I think he'll lead us to a national championship.
I think it will be an improvement for the team since they're losing everything. They're always losing the games. And I think that it will help the team a lot.
I think that he'll make the team better because he's been there before, and I think that the players will grow from him with all his good advice.
I think he's a really good football player, and I think he'll do really good for the Huskers, better than Mike Riley.
To be low-key real, I do not like Nebraska. I thought he could have stayed at UCF. They were doing really good, but obviously, it's his quote-unquote home. So he played here. He played in Nebraska, won a national championship. So it's kind of it was gonna happen anyway. But I don't know. They could have got Les Miles. I mean, he recruited everybody from the South. He was a good coach at LSU. So I thought
it makes me feel really hopeful having someone that knows about the Huskers and about the tradition, and he's young and exciting. I think any guy that crowd surfs in his locker room will get young adults excited to play.
I think it's kind of weird because Mike Riley just came, and I feel bad for him.
The football team should do good. They do better than what they did last year, maybe.
I think he'll be a pretty good coach for Nebraska since when he went to his press conference, he talked about everything that was on everything's mind. And I think he has really great thoughts for the future for the team. And I think since he played for the team, he understands how.
Who's Scott Frost? Oh, just joking. He'll be a good coach for Nebraska. Maybe. Yeah.
He was a great quarterback, and I think it's going to be a great season with him. He'll definitely do a good job coaching. And, yeah, I loved all of his plays, and he's going to be a great coach.
I think that this is a great idea to have a new coach because Mike Riley didn't do a great job. We lost the amount of games we won the prior season with Mike Riley.
I think we got to give him some time. He's a good coach. He's a good player. He's a good person, but we just got to give him time.
My opinion about Scott Frost?
So we've heard the students and teachers' opinions about Scott Frost, but what does Dr. Tom Osborne feel about this exciting new hire? In an exclusive sit-down with the former coach, I discussed Scott Frost and other aspects of Husker football.
For 22 years, he labored and waited.
Tom Osborne was a Nebraska coach for 25 years, winning 3 national championships. In 1997, his quarterback was none other than our new coach, Scott Frost. Osborne discusses what makes our new head coach special.
Then I think he's just a good person. I think he relates well to players. He cares about players, and eventually that comes through. And players are going to respond if they feel that you really care about them as people, and not just that you're a pawn on a chessboard that's being maneuvered for their own benefit. And so I think that's going to be something that's going to be very important.
With a string of unsuccessful coaches, embarrassing blowouts, and a lack of championships, people are both excited and hopeful about Scott Frost.
Because I was replacing a guy named Bob Devaney who had been very successful. And they were kind of wondering, well, can this guy pull it off? And there was considerable conjecture as to whether that was going to happen or not. But in Scott's case, he's coming in now with a team that didn't do very well last year by Nebraska standards. So I think there's a lot of optimism because of what he accomplished at Oregon as an offensive coordinator, and then also what he accomplished at Central Florida.
If anyone can predict the success of Scott Frost, it is Tom Osborne. The former coach explains what he feels success will look like for Husker Nation in the upcoming years.
Well, I think that within 3 to 4 years, you'll see a competitive team. Now, what that means kind of depends on the viewer. For some people, that means, well, you got to win a conference championship and maybe be in the hunt for a national championship. What I see is that you'll see a team that is going to be very hard to beat, and you're going to have to play 4 quarters to beat them, and you're going to play very well.
For BBTV News, this has been Arnav Pokral reporting.
Thanks, Arnav. For the past 2 years, the OPS Career Center has hosted a film competition known as the 777. This is where teams of 7 students are given 7 days to write, film, and edit a 7-minute movie. The competition is designed for high schoolers, but they also have a similar competition for middle schoolers, called the 444. Recently, 4 of our own Buffett students took part in this fun film festival, as they did pretty well, earning 2nd place overall and the award for Best Use of Conflict. Check out this cool film created by the Bobcats.
Gabe, before you leave, come see me in my office. You know the policy on grades, right, Gabe?
Yeah, you have to be passing all your classes to play. What's the problem, Coach?
Well, I got an email from Mr. Torpin. It's about your math grade. You're really close to failing, and there's a big test coming up. And if you fail that test, you're most likely going to fail the class. And we need you to play if we want to expect to win the game. Look, Gabe, you're one of the best players on this team, and we need you. Now, I know you're good friends with Arnav, and he does a little tutoring on the side. I asked him to work with you in the library to help you get your grade up and get ready for the test. Can I count on you to work with Arnav?
I can do it, Coach.
Right here, this one equals CT, because
I just don't get it. It's pointless. I'm going to fail anyways.
we need you. You're the best player on the team. We don't have any shot at the playoffs without you.
I just can't do it, bro.
Look, I shouldn't be telling you this, but what if there's another way you can pass that test? You know, there's a kid, Blake Johnson. You know him?
You mean that weird computer nerd who just plays on his computer all the time?
Well, he's more than just a computer game player. He's a hacker. Last year, he found out about a way to get remotely access to teachers' files. And he told me about it because I'm the only one that talks to him. And so he sent me that link and I have it.
How would that help me, though?
Well, you know, he told us at the beginning of the year he keeps all his tests on his computer. That means he has the answers on his computer as well. If I can remotely access it for you and you can take a picture or like whatever you want, that gets you your A.
5x minus 2, find x? I don't get it. What the heck? Just don't fill out this form. Who's that? Connor. What does he want? Hello?
What's up, Gabe?
Nothing. Just studying.
You know you can't fail that test tomorrow. We need you.
Don't worry about it.
What? You're practically failing the class.
I don't even think I'm going to pass the test. And I'm actually good at math. What makes you so confident?
Swear you won't tell anyone?
Yeah, what's up?
Okay, so I found this website
that gives you the password to your teacher's computers. And all you have to do is find Mr. Torpin's information for a secret test file, and you'll have every answer. Hello?
So, you think you're getting away with this?
Yep, as long as you don't tell anyone.
It's gonna work. Second grade oval. Mr. Torpin. Smith.
Our sources have found the latest test to be of Chapter 7. That's our chapter. Good. Now I have it for the test.
Please take one, pass it down. Do not forget to write your name on it, guys. Done already?
Hey Gabe, I just graded your test. Got 100%, man. Good job. I can tell you put a lot of work into it.
Proud of you, kid. Mr. Torpin told me how well you did on your math test. And I think that study session with Arnaud really paid off.
Yeah, Coach. I'd do my best to help out the lacrosse team. The guilt was too much. I couldn't take it. Maybe it was the fact that I had cheated myself out of a grade or cheated my teacher. Lacrosse had become more important to me than anything, but I shouldn't have taken it that far. This was too much. Perhaps it is why I'm sitting here, wondering if I should send it.
Along with reporting the news, another thing that our students are learning is how to create public service announcements. Students' PSAs cover many topics ranging from recycling to having integrity as a student. For this next segment, we will be sharing with you a quick PSA that takes place and it takes a unique look at the bullying epidemic facing today's world.
I'll say something next time.
I'll say something next time.
I'll say something next.
I'll say something next time.
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 One of this year's very first stories that our BBTV reporters covered was a special event held in our school library. Every year, America celebrates National Banned Book Week. This is an annual event that takes place throughout the final week in September. It is designed to celebrate our freedom to read and to highlight the value of free and open access to information. Our reporters sat down with Buffett librarian Miss Campbell to find out more about this week-long celebration.
Book Week is about the American Library Association draws attention to it every year at the end of September, and really what it's about is it is about celebrating our freedom to read what we want. So it draws attention to books that have been either challenged or banned in public or school libraries throughout the country, and it's not really celebrating the fact that people want to challenge or ban books, it's actually celebrating our First Amendment right to read what we want to read. Well, it's important because we all have, like I said, our First Amendment right to read what we want. So the First Amendment covers free speech. So this is important because we have people out there who want to ban books and take them out of libraries and make it so that other people can't read them, which then violates their right to free speech. Some of the books get banned based on language that might be in them, based on the content that might be in them, that parents get upset when there's swear words, or they get upset if there's romantic love scenes or something like that. Some books like Harry Potter get banned because people claim that it promotes witchcraft. Charlotte's Web has been banned because of the talking animals and people saying that that's not real. The giving tree has been banned because supposedly it supports deforestation. So they get banned for all different kinds of reasons, or at least challenged. Probably a lot of the books that many of you have read have actually been challenged at one time or another. I think you'd probably all be really surprised that many of the books in our library have had a challenge, not necessarily here at Buffett, but somewhere in the United States. And some of those books that some of you are reading have actually been banned, and in other schools in the country you would not be able to get them.
Buffcats enjoy is going to the movies. Recently, our student body has been captivated by one film in particular, The Avengers: Infinity War. One thing that is unique about this movie is the sheer number of different characters that it includes. We know that everyone recognizes Captain America and Iron Man, but what about some of the lesser known characters? We decided to play a fun game to see just how well our Bobcats knew these superheroes.
That is Thanos the Destroyer.
He's in Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know his name though. Drax or yeah, Drax, something like that. Yeah.
That's Drax the Destroyer from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy. I think it's Hawkeye.
Bucky, the Winter Soldier, is like Captain America, but not Captain America.
That is Bucky Barnes. He used to be like a Captain America soldier, but now he has like a metal arm and he wants to kill everybody.
It's the Winter Soldier. I think, I'm not sure. I want to say he was a Nazi. I'm not sure. And he was frozen, and the Captain America was like, no! And they unfroze him.
Oh my god, I forget her name. I feel like isn't she like the girl with like she's in, God, I can't think.
Scarlet Witch, her brothers, Quicksilver got murdered in the first Avengers movie.
That's, I think, Scarlet Witch. She can do magical stuff.
I don't know her actual name. I think it's the Scarlet Witch.
Falcon. He's good buddies with Steve Rogers.
Falcon.
That's Falcon, but in the future, in the comics, he becomes Captain America.
Oh, I don't know. That's the Guardians of the Galaxy lady. She's funny looking. I don't know what her powers are or who she is.
Yeah, Mantis, and then like she can put like her master to sleep.
Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's Mantis. She can like do magic mind stuff.
BBTV is a daily production airing Monday through Friday to the students and staff of Buffett. Throughout the year, we cover hundreds of different stories and events. These include a variety of things happening in and around our school. Sometimes a story comes along that really stands out. This is exactly what happened last year as two of our entertainment anchors met up with some local musicians.
If you ask somebody to name a band, they might say something like 21 Pilots, Panic at the Disco, or One Direction. But most likely, they won't name a local band from Omaha. We caught up with the Through Fire founding member Justin McCain to find out what this local band has to say about being a band from the middle of the Midwest.
We're very proud of the fact that we're from Omaha, and just to be able to put our mark on the music scene, not only locally but we're hopefully globally.
And globally isn't that far of a stretch. If you think just because this band is from Omaha doesn't mean they made it big, you might be wrong. For example, their songs have been on the mainstream rock charts and featured in WWE and the popular show Criminal Minds.
It's pretty surreal, It's definitely very, very cool. It doesn't get old. It's not, it's not like, for example, if I hear our song on the radio, I'm not like, oh, it's our song on the radio again, no big deal. It's always new to me, it's always like every opportunity we're so grateful for that it always stays exciting, so just think about how many bands are out there and how many songs exist in the world. So to get to get our song on WWE, you know, it's pretty incredible. So it's an awesome feeling, and we're very grateful for the opportunities that we've seen.
When you think of airports, you typically think of things like airplanes, but what you don't think of is shooting a music video.
We are in Fremont, Nebraska, and we're at a airplane hangar, getting ready to shoot the video for our next single, Breathe. And today we're just going to get some band shots, kind of the background. Everyone's setting stuff up now, but it's going to look completely different once the lights go out, and it's going to be cool.
If you're curious to know what this music video is going to sound like, Justin explains what to expect for a fan who's never played one of their songs.
Well, we're definitely rock, you know, so some may call us hard rock, some may call us active rock, or, you know, whatever it is, we're rock.
Reporting from the latest music video shoot of Through Fire, this has been reporter Sam Shaw with BBTV.
Well, that about wraps up our show for today, Omaha. We hope you enjoyed this very special live edition of BBTV from the studios of OPS Career Center.
If you like what you saw, we have plenty more where that came from. If you would like to check out more from Buffett Broadcasting Team, we invite you to check out some of our daily productions.
That's right, Ella. All our daily shows are uploaded to YouTube, and you can be found on searching OPS BBTV.
And if you're a Twitter user, you can check out even more by following us at Buffett BBTV.
Speaking of Twitter, we'll end today's broadcast by checking out some of the best tweets that our page has to offer. Enjoy, and have a great summer.